Hi, my name is Terry. This is your boy Terry. My username across the internet is Surpassinggoogle, and I am a legitimate illiterate. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having been here. In most of my videos, I reveal information derived from the no books. By no books, I refer to the word NO-BOOKS. This is called legitimate illiteracy. This knowledge is derived from the down-to-earth spaces of Mama Earth and not from outer space. Most of the knowledge in the world is novice to this particular knowledge. Many of the books have been written, have been documented, but there is knowledge contained in the no books. Most of this knowledge is not documented. In some cases, some of this knowledge is innate to human. Innate to their very identity. These things need to be tapped, and then revealed. But by today's standards, these things are labeled nonsense. So this form of knowledge is relegated into redundancy, never tapped, as people seek out answers in outer space. Anyway, that aside, the knowledge I'm tackling is real life knowledge. Again, the world is novice to real life. Why do I say so? Because for the most part, the world is novice to the true state of the world. The world as we have it today is painted. It grows over painted as there is advancement in technology, as generations progress, the world becomes more painted. It becomes more of a hype job than realistic. Their entire nations put in place to keep that intact. Their curriculums that keep the world in a cycle, and then their entire curricula put in place to keep that curriculum in place. Anyway, you will understand what I'm saying. And if you don't understand, you can reach me. Of course, just leave me an email or leave a comment underneath this video and ask questions, and I'll explain, perhaps in another video or in a live stream. I really care. I'm your boy Terry. So in this video, we will just keep it short. I wanted to talk of blockchain technology. Earlier I talked of technological advancement, which is the world's means to attain flawlessness, to attain perfection. The world's means to bring about comfort. In some cases, the world like to attain entitled positions and deem themselves gods, deem themselves bringers of comfort. In some cases they have true intentions. In other cases, it's just to sustain a cycle and monopolize funds, things like money, the result of these types of efforts. Anyway, I'm digressing just a bit. I wanted to talk about blockchain technology. It's a current technology, another effort by humankind to bring about comfort according to them. Looking at blockchain, however, it is a beautiful attempt, a very beautiful technology. But will it enter into the ranks of great as a technology, or will it fade and become ordinary like technologies before it? Now, there are positives. Like I said, looking at blockchain technology, it's very, very beautiful, very grand in its potential, in terms of bringing about evolution in human world adjustment, bringing about a measure of discomfort. But will it sway from the potential of its potential to reach greatness as a technology, or will it become ordinary and fade like text before it? The answer to that question lies. Anyway, we'll get to that. Well, let's look at blockchain. What exactly is blockchain? It's very simple. The world likes to complicate knowledge. Knowledge in the world of today is not whole. We only have partial knowledge. We don't have whole knowledge, or knowledge that is balanced. You know, for knowledge to be balanced, we need both a revelation of the knowledge as seen in the books, which is revealed already, complemented by knowledge found in the notebooks. So perhaps a hybrid of outer space knowledge and down-to-earth knowledge. You know, this way knowledge can become available to anyone. You know, so looking at blockchain, what exactly is blockchain? You know, I'm going to bring the definition of blockchain out in the words of a legitimate illiterate, just to keep it simple. Blockchain is just very simple, really. You know, it's a database, but a database is just like collection of information. Words still rule the world, even today. Let there be light, there is light. So let's say a compilation of words kept safe, you know, arranged, that can be referenced. But now when you talk of blockchain, you're talking of kept safe with a copy of this data in various anonymous locations, so that, you know, the servers holding this data is immutable, indestructible, and untamperable. You know, so they're trying to add decentralization to database, to where there needs to be a measure of consensus before data can be altered or tampered. And then, you know, when various anonymous parties, you know, non-friends or acquaintances are now holding data, you know, it gives more validation to a consensus compared to when one party or a group of friends are the determinant of consensus. You see, so consensus is just like an agreement, you know, that okay, let's agree that this data can be altered, or this, you know, something like that. So with blockchain, it's difficult to tamper or alter information, keeping the authenticity of information intact. Now that said, that is just what blockchain is, you know, mostly servers. I may need to change my location. Let me change my location. Okay. I'm always sitting in front of, I apologize, I'm always sitting in front of someone's house because of lighting. So let me change my location briefly. Okay. So, you know, establishing what blockchain is, it's very powerful. Why so? Because there's something that I mentioned earlier that is missing from today's world, and it's information. Information is monopolized by today's world, governed, you know, so to speak. And when you talk information, you talk a lot of data. You know, it's not only words, it can be numbers, you know, transfers, you know, it can be votes, you know, records of an action. So it's not necessarily words. So before the advent of blockchain, information was so centralized, you know, so governed by individuals, you know, entities, government, and all that, you know, making. Just a moment, let me wait for that. You know, this limits the larger expanse of the human populace. Even in terms of evolution, you can only conform to what exists, which is regulated and governed, because, of course, you don't know anything about your government and they know everything about you, so they can hold you accountable, become the standard. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Let's not talk about that. I'm just trying to build on the beauty of blockchain, you know, as an intention, you know, what it's aimed to accomplish. Is there some beauty to it? And there is a lot of beauty. You know, now knowledge is available, can become available to anyone, where blockchain attains its full potential. But the question is whether blockchain will attain its true potential in the world that we live in today. We will get to that. So, or will it fade because of the state of the world that the world itself is novice to? a lot of issues with the world, that's where it stems from. The world being novice to the true state of the world, without knowledge that it is. The world thinks it knows the state of the world. Oh, the issue with the world is poverty, let's eradicate or abate poverty. But is that the reality of things? If you check my previous video, I said not a soul made in Jehovah's image is truly capable of exhibiting poverty. Anyway, this will come out again in this discussion. I'll keep it short though. So we see that blockchain has very beautiful potential. It gives everyone access to information because a copy of a blockchain is available to anyone. All you need to access that database is just to run a server, and then you have access to all the information of the on the blockchain. But in most cases, there are web interfaces via which you can access information on a blockchain. It's usually public. Many blockchains become open source. So let's say there's a public site like GitHub where you can see the code. They have blockchains, have explorers where you can see all the information on the blockchain. And of course, like I mentioned before, it's permanent in nature. Government or entities like Facebook, Google, because they are not blockchain, they are not making use of a blockchain type of storage. It's centralized. Mark Zuckerberg can decide to tamper or hide information from the public, about him, can do whatever he wants with information because his actions are not verifiable. He can take your data and sell it to advertisers if he desires, even though he claims that will not be the case. But he can do it because there's no way to account for this that is public to everyone. So these are some of the beautiful facets of blockchain, features of blockchain that empowers humans further. Now, it does have that potential. It's very beautiful indeed as a technology. But now the question at hand is, will it attain its full potential, or will it fade and become an ordinary tech like other techs before it? Now, we will discuss this further by bringing out another aspect of blockchain that wasn't mentioned earlier. Another beautiful aspect of blockchain that is also very powerful in terms of bringing about world adjustment is its reward distribution aspect. So most blockchains have a reward system, that rewards participants in the ecosystem. Most blockchains reward the people that host the data on the blockchain. So there are some people that run servers that keep the blockchain alive. For the blockchain data to be alive, reachable by everyone, it has to be hosted on a server, on a number of servers. On one server, it's not good enough because it's not decentralized enough. It can be tampered with, it can be destroyed. But where you have hundreds of servers in anonymous locations holding this data, it's live data, by the way, live data. Now that becomes more of a decentralized system. So these people who host these servers are rewarded in a digital currency. So most blockchains have a digital currency that come with it, used to reward participants in the ecosystem. So when you see things like Bitcoin is not just a currency, it's not just a currency, behind, oh gosh, I apologize, there's some serious mosquitoes here and I don't want to fall ill as a result of them. And gosh, this is the road, so much noise, but I'll just rush this video. So there's a reward system that usually rewards participants in the ecosystem. There are different levels of participation. Of course, those running the servers get a larger piece of the rewards because they keep the blockchain alive. Then some blockchains have other forms of participation, like transactions, where you have social media platforms built on blockchain, each like is an action that's, is worthy of rewards. So different blockchains have different paradigms or, dynamics. For example, Bitcoin has a proof of work, where servers, a server that carries out more transactions get more rewards, compared to another server. So it becomes a competition of getting more transaction, technological competition, where you need more physical hardware and stuff like that, so that you can get more of the rewards. So competition comes about because of a reward system. That aside, now a blockchain that I'm very familiar with, that I built my startups on, is the Steam blockchain. It uses a different dynamic. It's more of a social based blockchain where there is a community and activities carried out by the community is also rewarded, including things like reputation. So you may consider that a more powerful blockchain because it now involves social interaction as well as a measure of morality and all that, and rewards it. Now, where there's a twist now is in the reward system, because we know how the world works. Today's world is painted, mostly revolves around money. In today's world, humans lose value. In the real world, in today's world, it's a painted world. Humans lose value. Everything that's superficial starts to garner more value, even more so than humans. But in today's world, garner more value. Pets, we're talking cats and dogs, even a pound-sized chihuahua, in some cases, have more value than a brother next to you. That's the world we live in. Because there's a reward distribution in the dynamics of the way the world runs. Money, a legal tender, that is regulated, controlled, and so of course. Now, when you bring that into the blockchain dynamics, there's a potential that it sways matters. So let's stop there. We've built a scenario so far, and now let's tackle the question, because I'm a bit disoriented really, and I will need to stop the video very soon. So let's just tackle the question outright. Is it possible that blockchain, even though it has so much potential of bringing about comfort for humans, a measure of world adjustment and all that, is it possible that it fades and becomes an ordinary tech like techs before it? And the answer is yes. It's already ongoing, really. Because like I mentioned, there's a reward distribution aspect to blockchain that sways people from their original elements. Humans of today are swayable, influenced by rewards. But it's not far gone yet. Blockchain still has potential. We'll discuss that. Besides money, there are other dynamics of the world that is being replayed on blockchain. For the most part, blockchain is becoming simply a means to reward distribute. However, blockchain will only enter the ranks of great if it is used for other purposes besides reward distribution. Perhaps as a mentality adjuster. I'll break all this down. So, the world, like I said, is novice to the true state of the world. And for the most part, blockchain will host humans. Humans live in the world, are influenced by it, are inculcated with a curriculum that contains world standards. Now when we talk of the world, we are not talking everyone, we're talking of in general. So, will that suddenly change as a result of blockchain? Or will it simply replay itself on blockchain? Now, another aspect of blockchain that we didn't mention is that since it saves data, it's possible to start out a variety of innovations on blockchain. So it's possible to create a copy of Facebook on blockchain. As long as a blockchain can process data, same as your computer does. Data may take a variety of forms. It may be a cookie, it may be information, a particular genre of information. Various blockchains are modeled to receive a variety of data. It may be a game action. Now, my point is, it's possible to build a variety of innovations on blockchain, whether it's a game, whether it's a banking system, an accounting system, a social media platform. That's another thing you can do on blockchain. But what is ongoing today? Because blockchain is becoming about being a reward distributor, people are mostly replaying every existing technology on blockchain a second time for the sole sake of distributing rewards. Now, another beautiful facet of blockchain is that it makes giving more affordable than it is with fiat currency. A digital currency starts out as null and void. Starts to garner its value as a result of the humans, courtesy of the humans that use it. As a result, it becomes affordable to give out digital currency. In some cases, you don't even have to give out your own digital currency. It's possible to distribute rewards from a central pool. So, for example, on the Steam blockchain, there may be let's say 100,000 Steam tokens available for today to give out, to reward out a variety of actions. Now it's possible to have a say on the distribution of that reward by staking some of the Steam currency. Now, the more you stake, the more influence you have on how much you can distribute. So that's like giving money to someone without removing any money from your wallet. So that's another beauty of blockchain. Reward distribution becomes very affordable. So people see it as a thing of beauty, and feeling that the problem with the world is poverty, come up with innovations on the blockchain in a bid to distribute rewards, according to them, fix poverty. But like I said earlier, if you have insight into the true state of the world, it's easy to know that the problem with the world was never poverty. In a previous video, I said that it is the shine of the human that is missing, relegated into redundancy or never tapped. And where it's relegated into the redundancy may be due to circumstances or due to curriculums in the world. So, it's established that reward distribution is not the sole or primary issue with the world. But like I said earlier, the world is novice to these things, and it translates onto blockchain. Entire innovations are created on blockchain and modeled solely to distribute rewards. Now, what happens if that is the case? If the primary use for blockchain is reward distribution, then you suddenly relegate the importance of other beautiful facets of blockchain and limits the potential for exploration of the uncovered or untold beautiful aspects of blockchain, because there's so much beautiful aspects of blockchain, some of which have not been untapped. Even the creators of blockchain don't know of these beautiful aspects of what they created because of the original intention modeling the creation of blockchain. For example, one reason for most creators of blockchain for creating blockchain is to remove governance. They want to leave the discomfort that governance brings. Oh, you want to travel to USA, you have to tender your millions. You don't have privacy that you would really want. You want this information, you have to go through ladders of barriers in the form of government. That's the world notion. The world has the notion that man can rule man. But can man rule man? Now, regardless of whether you want to use blockchain to abate governance, what happens on blockchain all over again? Man attempting to rule man. Governance. So, will technology simply fix humans? Is it for technology to fix humans? People, is it for technology to fix humans, or is it for humans to evolve using technology as a tool to and begin to direct the evolution of blockchain itself towards great? I don't know if you are getting my gist. The world wants to create comfort, wants to create tools that bring about comfort, wants to eradicate so-called discomfort. But in reality, are many things discomfort or avenues to evolve in our human? The world tells you to pursue happiness. And what does that mean? It carries the context of run away from sorrow. Once you face a measure of discomfort, look for the next happy route. Buy a beer, attempt a vice, catch the new high, run away from sorrow. That's how the world is modeled. Or literate knowledge that is documented in the books. That's what the curriculums of the world inculcate. So what do you think will happen on blockchain with all this dynamics? The same thing. Except humans begin to use blockchain as a tool to evolve, to uncover knowledge in its whole state, tap into legitimate literacy, use each activity on blockchain as an excuse or an avenue to further evolve, to exert human virtues, to tap into the so-called nonsense, sift of it using the powerful tool of blockchain so as to find sense therein. Blockchain will fade and become an ordinary tech, just another tech that can distribute rewards. So, yes, blockchain is very beautiful. It has the potential of ranking great as a technology. But it is not but a lot of that relies on us, using blockchain for what it is, a tool, not a god, the solution bringer. Many people get on blockchain and see it as the solution. We're supposed to influence blockchain with our beauty. Blockchain is not to sway us. It is just a tool. The only way blockchain will find its full potential is where we use blockchain as a bid, in a bid to return value to humans, not remove value from humans and give it to blockchain. Like what is obtainable in the world today. The dynamics of the world is remove value from humans and give it to every inanimate thing. Money, career, blockchain, technology, religion, bots. Each of these things in today's world garners more value. Things are posed, curriculums are in place, nations are in place, technology is in place for that sole reason, to remove value from humans and give it to these inanimate things, so that these inanimate things become the sought after. The result, we have a painted world where humans are ever losing value and have to continue seeking these inanimate things for comfort's sake. Altogether, blockchain is just a tool, an ordinary tool. And that is what it is. Blockchain itself will evolve courtesy of our evolution. If we don't evolve, tap into our shine, blockchain will remain ordinary, never rank great. Soon it will fade. Artificial intelligence is in the making. That will come and it will fade once again. Then what next? Human clones. We already know that human bots are already in the making. So after human bots, then human clones. Okay, so after human clones, what's next? That is the cap, the limit. At that stage, paradigms in the world will begin to shift, and people will start returning back down to earth. Humans will begin to re-garner value. That, or it's a scary place where the world is headed. When you look at it intently, it's a scary place where the world is headed. So that is why I'm playing my small role. This is my role on the earth, to reveal legitimate literacy so that people have more access to knowledge, regardless of their status, just courtesy of being human. Whether you're literate or illiterate, you have access to legitimate literacy. It's an entire school where anyone can school in. Now, where you have access to legitimate literacy, you gain more insight into the true state of the world. You're not so influenced by the hype, the paint. Legitimate literacy helps you remove the paint. And when you have seen many things become ordinary. Many things in reality are ordinary. What is unordinary is humans. Of course, the creator, the supreme being is, supreme and divine and invincible. But he made humans in his image. What is going on in the world is, everything is structured to sway us away from the original image of the creator. The moment we sway away, or as we sway away, we start to become ordinary. Then, money, all the superficial things become the extraordinary, the sought after, the God. Next, you stamp on a brother to climb a career ladder. You stamp on a brother because of blockchain technology. You want to gather all the rewards for yourself. You stamp on a brother because of paper. Another beauty of blockchain that is underseen or underused is explaining the concept of money. When you look at blockchain critically, it tells you that money is the smaller things. It's obvious with digital currency. Currency starts at zero value and begins to garner value as humans start to give it value. Then how does it all reverse? With digital currency, like I said, giving becomes more affordable. You are able to give more. Why is it that you cannot give fiat cash money to a brother who is in the hustles, in trouble? You have to ask him to give you his life history. And then when you give him $5, you become his God. How did the world reverse to that extreme extent? This is a pertinent question to ask. And blockchain incites you to ask these questions. Since the advent of blockchain, I've asked many more questions than I've ever asked. So that is another use for blockchain than just reward distribution. Blockchain is a very, very beautiful technology. It can bring about a measure of freedom like is sought after. But if you are going to replay every existing tenets or dynamics of the real world, which is a painted world, not the real world, of this painted world, if you are going to replay that on blockchain again, every existing innovation, if you are going to replay that on blockchain again, blockchain will fade. The only way blockchain will not fade is if you begin to use blockchain as a tool to evolve, gain insight into the true state of the world, tap into your shine, attain your purpose, and begin to influence blockchain and its beauty with your own shine. Everyone does that. Blockchain becomes an extraordinary and testimonial tool, a great technology, all courtesy of our evolution as humans. That's it. Anything short of that, it will fade. Reward distribution cannot go on forever. Even money, people who have amassed money, they get irritated. It's not surprising that you see people in depressed states, even though they have all the money means. There's a cap. You can't go drinking one bucket of ice cream and tell me it's sweet. It becomes tiresome over time. So this is the topic for today. I know that I was disoriented, but that's the essence of legitimate illiteracy. It's not meant to be painted. It's not meant to be comforting. It's meant to come across as nonsense so that you can evolve in the process of sifting of my so-called nonsense to find sense therein. So that you can exert your human virtues once again. So please pay attention to my undertone, the underlying context of what I'm saying, and you'll get the gist. Apply your spirit and your being, connect with me on this level, on a human level, and you'll certainly get the gist. And where you can't get the gist, please ask me questions. I'll listen to you, ascertain where you're at, and give you just the right amount of legitimate literacy knowledge necessary for your evolution. Yes, make sure to stay awesome. I'm your boy Terry.